and he had promised to forgive the loan if Ross introduced him to Blandon. Ross testified that he had never intended to engage in dealing until Blandon started calling him. That's telling.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, The Answer, man. We knew this was coming after that Vlad interaction, Freeway and Wack. He told him go get it. He went and got it. Now he's going to read it. How does it look? Wait till you hear this. Let's get to the content.
Freeway Rick, he said it. He said go get it. So we went and got it. He said go get it. So we went and got it. Those of y'all don't know, there's a episode up on Vlad where Freeway Rick FaceTimed me and asked me why I called him a rat. I said, hey, my brother, I've been defending you. I didn't call you a rat, but they presented some paperwork when I was defending you because all I knew was about you and the police saying you was a rat. You care because you come on here to listen to me speak. That's why we got the content. Yeah. Check this out. I'm everywhere. We got no jumper popping. I'm on the Adam and Wack show right there. We got this popping, that popping. We back over here. We here at 1. I got 600 gonna pull up. Then we back at 5. We got Princess Love, Damn Homies, R&B, and a few other surprises. Me, Cap Gazaria, my nephew Brock, my main man Lavish. I might even bring Drewby on here. You know what I'm saying? Battle of the sexes. Is it double standard? Why women can't do what men do? Ain't that bottom? Because you ain't a man. We're going to say that for 5 p.m. right here on the Honey Show. We came here briefly to address Freeway Rick and Rick saying that I had no right to say he was a rat. I didn't call him a rat. I was defending him. I said, I don't care about him telling on the police. Somebody else ran the work that said he ratted. That he told on the Connect. You know, so now we're here. Let's get it out there. Let me get 600 up in there. All right. There we go. Let's see if we get those 600 up in here. We had 81 people. Let's get it up to 100. Listen, you broke. The boy Freeway Rick say you was scared to pick the phone up because you owe him some money, man.
Check this out, man.
What money you borrowing from Freeway Rick?
Check this out, man. I'm gonna keep it real. When I first started boxing, I was meeting a lot of people, you know, who was interested in boxing. Freeway Rick was one of the first persons I met, you know, and he was trying to get his foot wet in the boxing game. He was trying to get some boxers, sign some fighters, and whoop. So my white boy Jerry Rosenberg, like, hey, you know Freeway Rick? I heard him when I never met him. Well, yeah, he's trying to get in the boxing game. You know, he might have a couple dollars. I don't know what he got left, but, you know, he might be able to get behind you on something. I'm like, whatever. So, you know, he called him to the gym. I took pictures with him and all that. And, you know, we hollered a little bit, told him what my plan was, what I was doing. He was like, all right, you know, he might be able to help me. He like, how much the fight? I said, the fights cost like $1,000, bro. Plus expenses. So, this one, mind you.
Now, what you mean the fight costs $1,000?
So I'm being my own promoter. So I gotta find an opponent. I gotta find somebody to come fight me. You know what I mean? If I pay in America, I might be paying $5,000. But if I go to Mexico, I might be able to find an opponent for $1,000. So, you know, he like, all right, I'll get behind you on a couple of them. Bam. I've been trying to tell Big U to come with me to Mexico forever. I'm like, bro, let's go to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I'll be out there fighting. Woo. He finally said, let's roll. Bam. I forgot I was supposed to go holler at Freeway. I'm like, you mess with Freeway? He like, yeah, I know what's up with him. I said, I'm about to pick up this bread from him. He gonna help me out a little bit. He like, he just give you the money? I'm like, I mean, you know, he gonna help me out. You know what I'm saying? I pay him back and get a big fight. He's like, man, that nigga's a rat, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, but if he give
Also,
out the
Big,
money,
you told him he was a rat.
but I already knew he was a rat. The big homie from 9 already told me before Freeway even got out. Like, hey man, he's a rat, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no justified snitching. Yeah, he told some police, but that's justified. He get out right now and walk right past you. I said, okay. I never really cared about it. It was all over the news, big case, LA going on, you feel me? It was a rat. I mean, the real Rick Ross, the rapper, he made a song about it. So he testified on 30, 47 people. Made a whole song. But everybody knew about it. But I'm just checking to make sure I'm straight before I go do business with this dude in the boxing world. I asked the other big homie, I'm like, hey, what's up with Freeway, bro? You feel me? They like, hey, you know, he a rap, but is it cool? He was like, nah, man, you straight. He was like, man, the police up, lie on us, put us in jail, us, do all type of stuff. Sometimes I should only get back on them type of. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just hearing that from because I'm still like listening to some G homies what they be saying. That's just different point of views people are saying. You feel me?
Yeah. Now my point of view was, I never tripped that he told on the police. I
Right.
always defending him. So last week on Vlad, he FaceTimed me.
Yeah.
Because when I was on Vlad prior, Vlad asked me, I said, well, you know, I got a different perspective now because he ain't just telling the police, he told on the connect. Right? So
Right.
Vlad like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he told him to connect. We was running the room and somebody brought the paperwork, right? So, you know, we really wasn't tripping Freeway, but Freeway called me out to this and said, Wack, you supposed to be an exposer. If y'all say you're gonna get the paperwork, you gotta go get it and read it. Right?
What we in a room a long time ago, like a year ago, and some dude gave us the work.
Some dude gave us the work and we danced around it.
We
I
went
read
around
it.
it because I'm like, man, Freeway, my guy. You
Yeah,
feel
I
me? Like,
read it because I'm arguing. I'm like, nah, you talking about the police? Like, nah, read this. So I'm like, I sent it. Baby, can I use your phone real quick? So I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna later go to the Honey Show Instagram and I'm gonna put the link up in the story so y'all can see where I'm reading this from. R&B. R&B.
it's definitely public record.
R&B.
You sent me the actual link too.
Yeah. Can I use your phone real quick? You out?
CIA, Contra Crack, Cocaine Controversy.
Hold on. Let me go ahead on and get this phone. Hold on.
So that was a little bit about my story, how I first met him, and I'm doing my background on him the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And some people say he might be alright to with, but some people like, hey, bro, ain't no justified snitching. You know what I'm saying? So so as far as the money come in, he do look out for me. You got the work?
Okay, here it is. I'm reading it. And I'm gonna put this up on the Honey Show IG in the story. Part 3, the defense case. In the defense case, Ross attorney called Los Angeles Assistant U.S. Attorney Michael Emmerich, the prosecutor in the Big Splendor trial, and elicited testimony about the nature of the case, the extent of Ross' cooperation. Ross' defense, however, focused on the claim of entrapment. Dr. Melvin Book, Ross' former tennis coach, testified that Ross had complained that someone was harassing him to do a deal despite Ross' protest that he was no longer involved in the trade. And he had gone straight. James Galapia, a Los Angeles probation officer who had worked with Ross on anti-gang projects, testified that Ross was addicted to the drug business and very vulnerable after his release from jail. Ross' girlfriend, Marilyn Stubblefield, testified that Blandone and his wife had made frequent calls to Ross. Now that's his other people. Now, Ross testified on his own behalf and told of his history in the drug trade. He testified that his business had grown rapidly once Blandon began to supply him cocaine at a lower price. Ross said that he and Blandon became friends as Blandon taught him about the drug trade. Ross testified that he tried to get out of the drug business after his run-in with corrupt officers in Los Angeles, but Blandon kept trying to pull him back in. Ross said that he always did what Blandon wanted him to do because he was Danilo, you know. He was like my guy, my number one person. I wanted to be Danilo. Ross testified that Blandon was still involved in the trade after he moved back to Miami, and that both Ross and his partner Ali Newell negotiated deals with Blandon there. Ross testified that even after he moved to Cincinnati, this is where Ohio kick in, to get out of the business, Blandon kept pulling him back in. After Ross moved back to Los Angeles from Cincinnati, he tried to stay away from and follow his dream of working on a performance theater for youth in his neighborhood, but instead found himself arrested on Ohio charges. Ross said that when he was released from prison in Texas, he was working as a garbage hauler, trying to earn money to pursue his dream of organizing a community theater. But Blandon contacted him and asked him to call Blandon Collect in Nicaragua from a payphone. When Ross called, Blandon told him that Tony had stolen money from Blandon, that Blandon needed Ross to help to earn money back. Ross testified that he repeatedly told Blandon he did not want to be involved, but he nevertheless maintained contact with Blandon because he wanted to sell Blandon the car. Ross said that he asked about the price in the tape recording conversation because it was just a habit to ask, although he had no desire or ability to conduct a transaction. Ross testified that he was in the palm of Blandon's hand. I was like his puppet. He could pick me up, you know. He could tell me to do almost anything, and I would have done it for him. Ross said that Blandon had asked Ross to get someone for him before, but Ross had refused because he had a strong feeling about people. Ross stated that he had not participated in the negotiation between Chris and Blandon, but had merely been present. Finally, Ross testified he had agreed to do the deal with Blandon because Leroy Brown was lending Ross money for his community theater, and he had promised to forgive the loan if Ross introduced him to Blandon. Ross testified that he had never intended to engage in dealing until Blandon started calling him. That's telling.
Yeah, you can't. You. It's no way around that. You know what I mean? Like that's clear, black and white. No negotiation, no excuses, no nothing. Dude's a rat. It is what it is. See, I never actually read that. I seen the other one when he testified on the police. You feel me? And
remember, I told him, I said, bro, we was running the room. A dude came in there. We immediately thought he was talking about the police.
Right.
We
all saw that.
He like, nah. I said, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. He said, I'm going to send it. I started reading it. And I remembered Ohio.
That's why I remembered Ohio, yeah. Because I was like,
remembered Ohio.
Yeah.
But even after the fact, we let it, usually we go to dig it. Right? But we let it go because it was him.
Right.
So, Freeway, come on, man. Come on. You just went on Vlad. Now, Vlad got to run this. Vlad might be about that time again. Vlad has to run this. Why didn't you just, maneuver around that question with him? Like, 600. if it's a big old ugly broad that you know you dealt with, and out of nowhere somebody say, "Oh, I know about Caroline," and you know that's her, you not gonna challenge them to that? He like, you on it like, all I with is bad.
Right.
What about Caroline? Oh man, that was just an old friend of mine. You ain't gonna say what Caroline, cause you know.
Right.
I really was.
Man, you know what's crazy? That day we talked on the phone. When I didn't answer my phone, I was training somebody, and I got done. We all got on the phone, and when we mentioned it, he never denied it. That right there was like, whoa. See, when nigga wouldn't defend his name, like when nigga brought up the Ohio paperwork, he didn't defend it. He was just like, where you get it from? Remember? So right there, I'm like, oh, he's not even saying he never told or made no other statements outside the police stuff. He's the one know where we got it from. He ain't saying, I ain't never told nobody, bro. That ain't me. Where y'all get that nigga? That's a lie. He ain't say none of that. All he said was, who said that? You remember? And we was trying to figure out the dude name who gave us the work in that room that day. But I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we wasn't even thinking about it.
Right.
For all y'all, you exposers is converting to you been exposed. We still here. The team,
sure.
Prince, Ghost, and Lavish, me and 600, we still here.
Facts.
But we moving into a marketing and promoting company, bro. Yo, Freeway, you did this to yourself. We didn't. You did this, bro. This wasn't on us.
All right, y'all, there it is, man. So at the end of the day, do I think this is going to impact anything going on with Freeway Rick, whatever ventures he got, interviews and everything else? Negative. There's going to be a small percentage of people who look at him a little different, but as been proven with Gunner, as has been proven with 6ix9ine, as has been proven with Meech or whatever else, it don't stop no motion these days. You understand what I'm saying? For the older school people, maybe it'll change their perspective or this and that. Everybody else, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And because of the source of where it's coming from, they're going to try to discredit it anyway. You get me? So anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Street code is outdated anyway. It never worked in the first place because you need 100% participation. If there's less than 1% of people that don't go with you, you behind bars if they don't follow, right? Anyway, man, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, it's your boy. We out.